Okay. Beta. I'm gonna show y'all boys where I'm from, man. I'm from. Hey, what it do? Still with the can shot like a damn big boss dog. Can't poke through the door, hit it, talk this box, fucking my soliloquy. Them tough times don't last, cause people do not yourself. Caught him if I lie, make me matter. Peak game, metaphors over swing. Alright, man. So, Raymond Ford, man, was interviewed. And I'm posting a link to the article, right? He was asked about Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis, in which he said in that matchup, that would be the easiest fight, right? Shakur versus Tank is an easier fight than Shakur versus Zepeda. Let me say that again. Raymond Ford says that Shakur Stevenson versus Gervonta Davis is an easier fight than Shakur Stevenson versus Williams Zepeda. In the article, Raymond Ford talks about how Williams Zepeda threw a lot of punches. He said he felt like Shakur Stevenson fought a beautiful fight. He talked about how Shakur stood in the pocket, stood toe-to-toe with Williams Zepeda. He did move in spurts. And he said, Zepeda landed a lot of shots to Shakur's body. I think he said like over 300 punches were landed on Shakur Stevenson's body. He said, which in spurts is very difficult for Shakur because he's a mover. And he said, basically when you moving, it's hard to brace for those body shots while you moving. And he just said that, Tank don't throw a lot of punches. His punch output isn't very high. So basically, Shakur will be able to outthink Gervonta Davis and basically just pick him apart and embarrass him and things of that nature. Now, here's my response to that. And by the way, the person who wrote this article is basically going to say, I was basically saying what I'm finna say. Shakur Stevenson against Williams Zepeda was a good performance. He did dominate the fight, mostly. But he got touched a lot. And he got touched a lot in that fight, right? Hear me out. He got touched too much in that fight. Kind of fighting stupidly as far as trying to prove a point. I mean, you don't need to do that. Just fight how you fight, right? He got baited into fighting that fight. And that's why after the fight, he was sitting there saying, man, I got hit a little too much. I'm going to go back to boxing, right? But when you look at the different styles make fights, I understand that. But when you look at Williams Zepeda, he's a guy that doesn't use no boxing IQ, right? He just throws punches. He don't got power. Shakur wasn't in any danger. You know what I mean? Nothing. I mean, yeah, he got caught in the third round in which he got like rocked a little bit, but that's it. Nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? So Williams Zepeda is a simple C-level fighter. So when you sit there and say that, oh, Tank will be an easier fight for Shakur, I don't think so. Because when you look at the styles, you got Tank Davis who can box. You know what I'm saying? You got Tank Davis who can brawl. You got Tank Davis who got boxing IQ. Right? That's just real talk. You got boxing IQ. So what it boils down to is, when Shakur fights Tank, it's going to be a chess match. And all I'm saying is, if Tank land flush on Shakur, it could be good night. Right? Now, there very well may be a chance that Shakur makes it a boring fight and he frustrates Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis does has the tendency to get frustrated. And when he gets frustrated, he start doing like he'll hit you low, or he'll like slam you on the ground or stuff like that, right? So he does have that tendency. Shakur will basically have to frustrate Tank. But if he can't do that, he just can't. I don't see him outright just beating Tank. I told y'all, Tank got too much power. Shakur don't like power. That's how he was able to sit in the pocket with Zepeda. Anybody that got power, Shakur, is boxing. Right? It's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But I look at that as a sign of weakness, in my opinion, the fact that Shakur Stevenson allowed the public, the media, to kind of dictate how he fight. What do you mean by that? Everybody say he run. What is the first thing the man said after he basically won the Zepeda fight? F all y'all. Y'all called me a runner. Y'all said this, y'all said that. F y'all. F this person, F this person. He put the middle finger up. Y'all said I ain't gonna stand in the pocket. I stood toe to toe. Give me my flowers. Why do we need to give you your flowers against a C-level fighter? You see what I'm saying? Why do I need to give you your flowers against a C-level fighter? A guy that's... Everybody knew you was gonna whoop him. And I've been saying this, bro. It's all smoke and mirrors. They try to talk up stuff. Oh, these are the two best lightweights. Zepeda's not good, bro. You know what I'm saying? He ain't trash, but he not good. Like, he's not good enough to beat a Shakur. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. You know? But it's like everybody is hyping up Shakur. You know, when it comes down to this Tank matchup. Oh, Shakur dominate Tank. I don't know. I mean, could he? Maybe. If he's able to frustrate Tank, right? That's his only way to frustrate Tank. That's it. Because Tank, like I say, we gonna keep it 1,000. Tank does have a tendency to get frustrated in it. We just gonna be truthful. He do. You know, if you frustrate him, then I think that Shakur could have a good night, right? It's gonna be a boring fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be real. If Shakur frustrates Tank, it's gonna be a boring fight because Tank not gonna throw nothing, and Shakur definitely ain't gonna throw nothing because he don't want to get caught by nothing. You know what I mean? So Shakur, it's gonna be probably. If it goes Shakur way, it's gonna probably be one of the lowest punch output fights in boxing history. All this stuff about it's gonna be Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford Part 2 is foolishness to me. Shakur not letting his hands go against no Tank. He ain't even gonna do it. It's too risky for him. He let his hands go. He get caught with a shot. The boy going to sleep in front of his kid. I'm telling you that. You know what I'm saying? So his best bet is to try to make it a boring fight to where he frustrates Tank. You know, I can see him getting his hand raised like that. But it's going to be a low punch output fight. That's why when I'm sitting here saying, when I hear people talk about, oh, man, this is the biggest fight in boxing. No, it's not. Because Shakur don't take risk. Tank going to take that risk. You know what I'm saying? If he see an opportunity to. If he see an opportunity to take that risk, he gonna take it. You know what I mean? So, when you look at that matchup, it's like, it could go Shakur's way. If Shakur frustrates Tank, it could go Tank's way. If Tank land on a button. If Tank land on a button on that man, I'm telling you, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Now, everybody trying to talk up this fight, you know what I mean? Because they want Shakur to basically be the face of boxing. That's just what it is. Shakur can't be the face of boxing because he ain't selling like that. Just like they trying to say Terrence Crawford, oh, he's the face of boxing. He's bugging. Man, ain't nobody watching no Terrence Crawford fight. You know what I mean? You just being real. Ain't nobody watching that nigga fight, bro. You know, if you was watching him fight, his name would be bigger than what it is. His name grew off beating the brakes off Errol Spence. That's just what it is, right? So Shakur is trying to get to that other level, right? He's trying to get to that other level of superstardom, and which in an interview recently I watched, he said he sees the opportunity. He's right there at superstardom, and he said, but he's scared of it. He said he's scared of it because of what comes with it, right? Why you think Tank act how he acts now? When you hear Tank talk about, man, I don't even want to be seen no more. Because the superstardom, right? Tank don't like being in the limelight, right? It just so happened that he fight good and everybody want to see him fight. When people say, hey, Tank fighting, people gonna be there. You gonna see the one name celebrities be there. Madonna, LeBron, you know what I'm saying? Steph, you know what I'm saying? So everybody gonna come out there. But to get back on topic, Raymond Ford, he just sack chasing. That's all he doing, bro. He's not qualified, in my opinion, to speak on that matchup because he gonna show bias towards his boy. That's what all them boys do over there. They don't keep it 1,000. They be biased. Because if I'm cool with him, Shakur, I'll be like, look, this fight could go one or two ways. It could be a frustrating night for Tank, or Tank gonna knock out Shakur Stevenson. Truly, in my opinion, it all depends on Tank's mental in that matchup. That's what it boils down to. If Tank mentally ain't there, Shakur could have an easy night. He could frustrate Tank, but even then, it's still a dangerous fight, right? Because all it take is Tank land on a button on that brother, it's a wrap. I'm telling you. Or, you know what I mean? Look, this matchup right here, bro, in my opinion, and like I said before, Shakur ain't did nothing to deserve it. You know what I'm saying? All this 3-time champion, oh, he's a 3-division champion, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bro, who he beat in these other weight classes? That was a top fighter at these other weight classes. It's y'all talking about 3-division champion. Driving through all these potholes in 3rd Ward. Who's the 3-division champion? Who he beat? Joe Gonzalez at 126? Huh? Oscar Valdez? Huh? Jamel Herring? Huh? And then he just, you know, he moved to 35. He got a vacant belt from Devin Haney. So all I'm saying at the end of the day, to keep it 1,000, man, it's like this, bro. When you look at everything, that boy Raymond Ford is not qualified to speak about this matchup, right? It gotta be somebody unbiased to speak about the matchup intelligently, so they can sit there and basically be like, all right, this is what I see in the matchup. And that's real talk. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Bounce back.